What's going on, guys? John here with another video. So this is I would like to say it's a 1 year review that I've said that I was going to do. Well, not quite 1 year. I would say it's 10 months, as I highly doubt I'm going to use this rod for another 2 months, so I might as well give you guys a review 2 months early about it. It is my NRX, the Loomis NRX 822S DSR. Right here, the Dropshot rod. So you can see I got it in a tackle warehouse rod glove. So I'm gonna take it out. So here it is. You're seeing it again. I've used it actually quite often. You can see NRX. See right here, focuses 822S DSR. So that's the drop shot rod, obviously. And in my first video, I kind of made a mistake about how heavy it is. The actual weight that it has been weighted is actually 3.28 ounces, so less than 3.3 ounces, right? So I went through pretty much the rod, how it is. I'll link that video where I showed it in the description below. To break it down, it is a mag medium. So what that is it's gonna have an extra fast tip, as you can tell, right? This is the tip right here. So it's gonna be extra fast. And the mag medium is actually gonna have a backbone. The backbone's gonna come in a little closer to the tip than like a mag light. And it's rated 6 to 12, as I said before. So you got a little bit more of an advantage if you're around cover and stuff to pull a fish out. But I mean, for the line that I use it, I wouldn't recommend fishing it really in the... I did have my accents on it, the 3000 MHG. Great reel, fantastic, but I used a few different types of lines on it. So I started off with a 10-pound Power Pro to a 6-pound leader. That worked all right. Nothing spectacular. Then I switched to the Power Pro Super 8 V2 in Onyx Black in 8-pound. I wasn't very fond of it, to be quite honest. I found it to be a lot stiffer than the regular Power Pro, and it was thinner. So I used that maybe 3 times and I got rid of it. And then I used Sunline FC Sniper 6-pound main all the way, and that seemed to work the best in terms of casting distance and manageability. But I'm gonna let you guys know that this isn't a distance rod. This is more accuracy and sensitivity. So if you're looking for, you know, distance, I don't recommend this rod. I mean, you'll still get average distance, right? I mean, I use 98% of the time at 1/8 ounce weight. So I mean, I'm not casting 100 feet, right? You know, even though I'm really getting it out there, but it's not made for distance, right? And you see this guide right here. I believe that they did this because this is like an older generation rod. So you have kind of like a smaller last guide, right? Like this. Right, so I find with this, if I'm using braid to fluorocarbon, it's gonna kind of take away a few feet. I would say maybe 5 to 10 feet of casting distance, give or take. So that's why I switched to the 6-pound all the way, like a complete 6-pound fluorocarbon. The new generation 822S DSRs, they have a longer frame, right? Longer frame, and I think the same size guide though. I am considering swapping the guide for a long frame like this one. This one's a second last guide, right? These are Torzites, so these are the most expensive, best guides on the market. I said that in the last video as well, but I want to put a long frame too, so it helps with the line slap while I'm casting. I believe that by doing that simple upgrade on this rod, you know, I'll get back to casting, you know, like I'll get that 10 to 15 feet back with casting, even though it's not really a big deal. Like I said, you know, this rod's all about sensitivity and accuracy. Yeah, so it's extremely balanced. Like every reel that I put on this was extremely balanced. The balance point is right here, right? So I mean, it's great balance, you know, for a guy like me that has a bad right shoulder, right? So when I use this rod, I'm not, you know, fatiguing my shoulder when I'm fishing it all day, right? It's extremely comfortable, and the balance, everything together as a package is there. Like it's a fantastic rod. Like the only thing that bothered me about it, which isn't even that big of a deal, is this guide, right? But that's minor. Sensitivity wise, I've never felt nothing like this in terms of sensitivity. I'm still getting used to it. I mean, I've used it all summer long, right? As you can tell in my videos, like I feel fish that I normally wouldn't feel. Like a lot of times in these videos, you'll see me not even like set the hook. I'll just go up like that, right? I won't, you know, like fish that I normally wouldn't feel, but because they're just holding on to it, and I just lift up the rod and I could feel that abnormality, that I set the hook. And mind you, hook sets are free, right? So I'm setting the hook a lot more with these rods. And yeah, it's fantastic rod, very sensitive. Even before I got this rod, there's certain types of hooks that I plan on running just with these rods. You know, like I've been using EWGs, the spin shots. Like they're great hooks, don't get me wrong. Fantastic for eliminating line twist, but there's a drawback. And the drawback is the hook point to the eye, you have just to the shank, sorry, you have just a little tiny gap, right? Versus these right here, right? The owner cover shots, right? It's open, right? So pretty much you have the hook point, you have a big gap from the eye straight to the hook point, right? So that increases obviously hook penetration and allows the fish to stay buttoned. I've lost a monster on this rod, right? I lost a monster, over 5 pounds. I'll show you the video.
Fish. Oh yeah. Oh, Mark, this is a monster. Yeah, this is a monster, man. This thing's a monster.
No, we tossed it. That was like
that was about 5-6 pounds, man.
What happened is that it spit the hook. Like I felt them on, I set the hook, but because it was a bigger fish, bigger bone, you know, it had to go through a lot more for that hook to go in and stay in, versus this hook where it'll go in, stay in, and it'll go in even more because it allows the hook to go in even more with that gap from the hook point to the eye. And I'll be using these hooks with like my robo worms and any sort of worm drop shot bait. And I have these ones right here too, these Decoy HD drop shot hooks. Right, you've seen it in my unboxing video, which I'll also link in the description. So what this is, I'm going to be using these with like minnow style baits, right? These right here. Right, and these ones are kind of like a swivel shot as well. The only reason why I'm going to be using these type of hooks with minnow baits, like a swivel shot, is because minnow baits tend to spin a lot more in your line, so you get a lot more line twist, so that's going to eliminate the line twist. And you know, I like using 6-pound main. There's a lot of advantages why you use the lightest line that you can get away with. The advantage is more action on your bait. It's very subtle action. You don't even need to move your rod. If there's a little breeze or a little bit of current, it's going to allow that natural movement of your bait. You don't even need to move your rod, right? You know, the constant, you know, seizuring of your rod for drop shotting is actually a myth, right? If you're doing that, you're not drop shotting, right? You're not fishing finesse. And you're getting that extra 5, 10, 15 feet when you go to 6-pound rather than 8, right? Line's a lot more manageable because the fluorocarbon, what happens is the heavier you go, the stiffer it gets. So on a spinning rod, stiffer line, it's not good. You'll get a lot of line twist, a lot of wind knots and stuff. And third, you know, it's a lot more finessey. It's more invisible than 8, right? Overall, I mean, this rod handles 6-pound nicely. You could use 8, don't get me wrong, but my preference is 6. But yeah, and over this winter, I've actually gave the cork some treatment with some U40 cork seal that I also got in one of my unboxings. Right here. See? U40 cork seal. So what I did, it's a cork sealer, it enhances the feel. It really makes it easier to clean. The dirt doesn't adhere to the cork. Yeah, it's pretty much a sealant, right? I only put one coat. I don't want it to be like glossy and you know, like a layer of gloss on it. I just want it to penetrate and hold. And I put one coat, right? I let it sit for, before I actually touched it, I let it sit for about 48 hours, right? And it worked well. Like it, cork's very, very nice. You know, when you have ultra high end, the highest end you could get. The only thing higher end than this is a Conquest, and to be quite honest, I wouldn't trade my NRX for a Conquest. It's not worth it. All right, I'd take the NRX any day of the week. My X-Sense is a great reel, don't get me wrong, but I took it off of my NRX. I put it on my Pure rod for steelhead. You know, 6.9 ounces, worked well, but you know, since this is going to be my ultimate finesse rod, I wanted to take it that step further, right? I wanted to push the boundaries, so I ended up getting the lightest spinning rod in the world, which is a Shimano Vanquish. It's a C3000 XG. Right here. The reel weighs in at 5.99 ounces. Don't know if you can see it, right? But yeah, Vanquish C3000 XGB, made in Japan. Yeah, carbon fiber handle. I'll get into the the details when I do a 1-year review of this, but yeah, so 5.9 ounces. But yeah, you know, carbon fiber handle. It's got a lot of goodies that make it light, right? So you do the math, 5.99 ounces or just 6 ounces flat plus 3.28, and it's, you know, not 9.28 ounce setup. Like, it doesn't get lighter than that, right? And I have a 6-pound Sunline FC Sniper spooled up, 6-pound, and yeah, you know, like, it's extremely balanced. See, the balance point is as close to the reel as possible. So you know, with it being lighter, it does increase the sensitivity, great ergonomics, a lot more comfortable, less fatigue, little to no fatigue, I should say. You know, I've already used the reel for steelhead. I've caught some steelhead with it. It performs flawless, fantastic smooth drag, but this video ain't about the reel. All right, I'll do a 1-year review follow-up on it. So let's get to the warranty. You know, fortunately, I've never needed to use the warranty. I've heard they're really good with warranty, G Loomis. They're all obviously part of Shimano. I keep hearing things about the expediter service, and you pay like $175, or there's a small fee, right? I mean, when you're like, I paid $680 for the rod. And when you're paying that much, if anything happens to the rod, $150, $170, even $200 is a small price to pay to get a whole new rod, right? The place, the G Loomis Shimano place, I guess it's a head office, is like 90 minutes away from me. So, you know, if worst comes to worst, I could just go and drive there and replace it. It's definitely worth the drive. You know, a lot of people use 3/16 ounce weights. I use 1/8, like I said, 98% of the time. I mean, I don't remember the last time I used a 3/16. This rod handles it beautifully. I'm gonna be switching to tungsten to try it out. So I hear tungsten is a lot more sensitive. I don't know how much more sensitive than lead it is. I've always used lead drop shot weights, but you know, I'm pretty sure if there is a significant difference in sensitivity, I'll feel it with the rod. But yeah, like, my review, I enjoyed the rod. I love the rod. I would never get rid of it. The only thing, like I said, my only little complaint is that guide, which it's in the works. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the guide replaced. If I don't, it's not a big deal. But I would like to get back that extra 5 to 10 feet. I know it's not really, you know, a big issue, but I feel a little more comfortable knowing that I could get it that far out, that much extra further out than I did before, you know, just in case, right? But yeah, you know, I keep the this Tackle Warehouse gunmetal rod sock or rod glove, right, on it, rather than the G Loomis NRX rod sock, because this gives that extra protection. Like, all my ultra high-end rods, they'll have that. So yeah, you know, my rating out of 10, I would probably give it a 9, right? Like, it's a fantastic rod. The reason why I know the newer generations have a bigger guide with the longer frame. You know, I'm pretty sure if I could find that, because apparently the 822S DSR is an alleged limited production. If I could have found like the latest generation, with the longer guide, I probably would have rated it a 9.5 out of 10. But I mean, you know, it's still good. I give it a 9 out of 10. Does everything I want it to and more. Sensitivity's unrivaled, right? You know, like I came from a St. Croix Mojo bass to this, right? I learned how to drop shot for almost 10 years with that Mojo bass, and like that's a great rod. Like, but the thing is, it's like day and night, right? You know, it's like comparing apples to oranges, right? You just can't, right? You know, and with the Vanquish on it, it just spins. I just turned the rod and it just spun, right? I can't wait to use this reel on it and really put it to work. So that's the end of my video. If you have any questions that I didn't answer throughout this video, please leave them in the comments below. I appreciate you joining me. Many more 1-year reviews coming throughout the year. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you like it. And I'll catch you on the next one.